Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Brendan and welcome back to another Bitcoin technical analysis and price prediction. And today we're going to be going over the macro of Bitcoin at its current state. Now, if you guys remember from the previous video, I talked about this reoccurring pattern that we've had on Bitcoin where we've been gapping up, bull flagging down, gapping up, bull flagging down, gapping up, bull flagging down all of 2021 when this started on January 8th. Now, as this continues to happen and as we continue to form these bull flags and break out above resistance, test the form of resistance as support, I want to talk about where this can go from Bitcoin because there was one key thing that I missed in my last video that I want to talk about in this video. So if that sounds interesting at all, make sure you guys stick around for the entire length of the video as there will be important information discussed the entire way through. But that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into this one. So I think one of the biggest things that I missed with this is, yes, we have this very obvious reoccurring pattern cycle that's been happening for the entirety of 2021 so far. But the one big thing that I missed here is, I guess, the conceptual idea that we have been moving to continuously higher swing lows when holding a relatively same level of resistance just around 60,000. Now, obviously, this is going to be, give or take a couple of thousand here, but you guys can see that this level in here has really been the major, and I drew that horribly, but this has been the major pocket of resistance for Bitcoin. And now if I draw it a little bit more like this, I'm sure you're starting to see this ascending triangle pattern that is pretty much right in front of our eyes. So the first time that we tested this, it was just around 58,000. The next time it was 62,000, and then the final time was 60,000. So within maybe a $1,000 or $2,000 range, we've tested this area 4 separate times to resistance and 2 or 3 separate times to the support. Now we can even extend this support line that we have even longer than what we're doing right now. But for the idea and the theory that this could be an ascending triangle-like formation, this is the way that I want to keep it. Now, the reason that I say this is because obviously it's not perfect. You're not always going to have this picture perfect technical analysis where it's going to go $60,000 to the cent every single time. Sometimes it's more of the theory of what is an ascending triangle, and that's exactly what I want to kind of talk about here, because the theory of an ascending triangle is that we are holding the same level of resistance or the same area of resistance while having a climbing level of support. And I think that conceptually that is exactly what we're seeing over here. Is we are seeing this consistent higher swing low, higher swing low, higher swing low, and we're continuing moving to the outside. We're testing former resistance as support, as we have already seen on the Bitcoin chart several times from these past formations. But moving back up to the top of this guy, I think that if we continue to form these higher swing lows and continue to test this $60,000 area of resistance, it does look like there's only a matter of time before this really squeezes to the upside. So the way that this works is that we will continue testing this area with more and more support as support is climbing and as resistance isn't changing. So what this does, I guess, on the order book standpoint is we are wearing out the resistance on the order book, and every single time we're punching this glass window, it's getting weaker and weaker and weaker until eventually it breaks and shatters and the bulls break through. And then what usually happens from there is we have the breakthrough, the retest maybe of previously resistance turned support, and then we continue to the upside from there. Now this is called a break, hook, and go. Again, we've seen this a lot on Bitcoin. I think one of the most beautiful examples of it that we have is this resistance that we have over here, breaking above it, testing into support, and then shooting to a new all-time high afterwards. Of course, we've seen this on pretty much every time that we've broken out of this. Resistance, 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 break it, hook it, go. Same sort of thing. Even over in here, we broke resistance, retested it as support, and then continued moving to the upside. Now, that is, I guess, in a perfect world, if Bitcoin continues to do this, I can't help but be increasingly bullish on Bitcoin because, again, with us continuing to climb with support and wearing out these resistance levels around 60K, it does look like there's going to be a price squeeze and a volume squeeze, which is one of the things I talked about in the last video. But it's pretty clear, and I want to go ahead and move this over to the 1 day so that we can see this on a little bit more of a macro scale. But it's pretty clear to see that we are doing this, and we're also having a falling level of volume as resistance is weakening. So typically what I would believe that this to do is that this would actually be a favor in the bears. Number one, because the trend is your friend, and we're obviously in a very, very large bull trend. And on top of that, we have a bullish formation and continuation pattern forming at this high. So I think that this squeeze in the volume and in the price is going to favor the bulls because, again, the trend is your friend. We're in a bull market. If something looks bullish, it sounds bullish, it's probably bullish. I think I've used that analogy a couple times, but it's like It's pretty self-explanatory. So not to ramble on too much, I just wanted to talk about this just a little bit more in detail than I did in the last video. I covered kind of the concept of what was happening with these bull flags or with these falling channels. But again, we continue to hold these 50 EMAs. We continue to bounce off of it just time and time again. If we want to repeat the same pattern that we have done for all of 2021 of having this falling channel bounce off of the 50 EMA, test former resistance as support, and then hit a new all-time high, again, not once, not twice, but 3 separate times now, it would be my belief that historically we should see a new high on Bitcoin in the coming months. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and drop me a comment in the comment section down below. I want to know what your guys' thoughts on Bitcoin are, because it is definitely at a historic price, historic place, and I want to know if you guys are bullish or bearish. So let me know that in the comment section down below. If you guys want to join the Discord, there's a free link to that in the description down below as well. I will flash an image up at the end of this video, but that is all I have, and until next time, I will see all of you guys in the next video.